going to be loading, preparing. Got it. Got it. And record. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, Facebook Live. I finally got Shell back in the show. Right? We got to talk and we had really fun and powerful conversation that is going to be a great start and I guess get great start for us and great continuation for you guys now to start listening and hearing what, how do I put it, how you can either rebuild or build your immune health.
Mm-hmm.
So Shell, take it away.
We'll call it maintenance and upkeep.
Maintenance and upkeep.
So you want me to just start?
Yeah, go right ahead, right in there.
So the main thing that I want to express when in regards to immune health is that you want to think of every day as prevention. Like there isn't a day that you don't want to be like off with taking care of your body, because every day should be like a set up to be the best for your overall health. So what I mean by that is, you need to like get enough sleep. That should be a priority, is sleep, what you eat. And if you feel like things are off, becoming very in tune with your body in order to do this, but to know the symptoms of like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit icky, let me supplement today, or let me make a broth, or you know what I mean? So like sleep is very, very important, because it's the time that your body repairs itself. And if you are stressed or you're not getting enough sleep, that right there will lower your immune system. Stress is also another one. So when you are becoming stressed or you haven't gotten enough sleep, you want to look for adaptogens. And one of the most mild ones that I really love, and I've probably mentioned it before, I can't remember, is Tulsi. Tulsi is a really great adaptogen for when you're super stressed out. It's not so strong, because a lot of adaptogens, you don't want to take them every single day. You want to only use them when you really need them as like a credit system. So like, oh, I'm feeling very worn down, I need a little bit of help, let me take an adaptogen for today and maybe tomorrow if I still feel a little bit weird. You don't want to take it every single day, because eventually it'll become taxing on your system. And it drives me nuts that some herbalists are recommending that you take adaptogens every day. That's not how they should be taken. Nothing should be taken every single day except for nettles. Nettles is a great daily mineral supplement if you make like an infusion out of it, and that would actually be part of upkeep. If you wanted to make sure that your body is getting enough, nettle infusion would be a great everyday supplement, almost like a multivitamin. I don't trust multivitamins. I think that they're just not good for you. Like I think you should just stick to nettles, and maybe if you have low iron, taking something like a tablespoon of blackstrap molasses and yellow dock tincture while you rebuild your platelet level. But nettles is great. So you want to make sure that you're kind of monitoring your homeostasis every day. So like I said before, adaptogens. Schisandra is also a really great one. But you can like look up kind of, because it depends on how your body runs too, like what temperature your body runs. If you're really hot, then there are other herbs that you would want to take that are adaptogens that are cooling. If you run very cold, then something like Schisandra would be really great for you. Other things that aren't adaptogens that help with immunity, like turmeric, that's also very heating. So you want to take that if you run hot. So you want to balance yourself out all the time with opposites. So there's that. You want to eat very healthy. There's a reason why people who eat processed foods high in sugar with no nutritional value are always getting sick, and it's because their body isn't getting what it needs from those foods. You need certain things for your body to run properly. So if you're feeding it complete trash, of course you're gonna feel ill and sickly. If I indulge too much and I don't eat things that are nourishing for my body, I can feel it, like almost like that. Like by the end of the day, I'm feeling sluggish. I'm not feeling very good. I'm like, why did I eat that cupcake instead of like eating a normal meal? And while I don't think that you should be harping on yourself and over controlling, you need to make sure that you're getting what you need, like vegetables, good meats. Like I've even seen it when I eat like trash meat from the supermarket that eventually I feel very icky. So it really helps to invest in your food. If you're going to do anything, investing in your food is a priority, because you are what you eat. I've never heard a saying that's more true than you are what you eat. So definitely checking into that. Monitoring stress levels, like I said before, learning different techniques to calm your nervous system down is also a priority, because you can even see it with like kind of like cold sores, or like even shingles, or things that remain in the nervous system, and then when you get really stressed out or you don't take care of your body enough, it flares up. That's such a good kind of like indicator. It sucks that that happens to people, but it's a good indicator of how much like stress really affects the body and the immune system. So if you have an autoimmune disease too, stress will like totally cause a flare up, or what is it called? I can't remember the term, but it will come back. You'll have like a worse time of it. Like Lyme is like that, where if you have a really bad moment of lack of sleep, stress, that kind of stuff, it gets worse. You get more achy. You feel like crap even more than you usually do.
Catches up with you.
Yeah, it definitely. It's always,
Compounds.
yeah, like autoimmune diseases can be healed, which is another thing that the modern medicine world will lie to you about. You can actually reverse autoimmune diseases. They're not forever. And part of it is taking really good care of yourself and trying to boost your immune system enough to kick it out. Like Lyme is not forever. You can actually cure Lyme. With
Yeah, I've met a couple of people who had Lyme disease and have cured it, and
yeah,
now help people to do the same, because it's inside out approach.
yeah.
Really.
You take care of yourself and you can really do anything. So that's another thing, is like not getting stressed out, not freaking out your nervous system. Like watching scary movies actually does do something to you. Getting really worked up and being in fear all the time actually lowers your immune system.
Getting angry.
Yes, being angry. For me, if I get angry, I get a migraine. Like it manifests itself as migraine, and then I feel ill, and then I spend the next day like in bed. So it's really like learning mindfulness and how to control your emotions, and remembering that your nervous system is there to help you, so you don't want to overload it. Of course, things are going to pop up where you're going to feel kind of overwhelmed, and life happens, but deep breaths and doing relaxing things, putting on some nice calming music, using aromatherapy, like I like pet my chest when I get upset, and it's like comforting to me. Some people wrap themselves in the baby blanket that they've had since they were like 2 years old. Like everybody has like a way of coping. So finding that for yourself, and like it could even be having two different drinks at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, she drinks one cup, and then I can still see she's holding the cup, and then all of a sudden a different cup appears, and I'm like, wait a minute, you have two
Yeah.
cups?
Yeah, like one is warm oat milk and the other one is my yerba mate. So I'm just like I'm mixing them in my mouth. But yeah, like everybody has their thing that helps them calm down. So prevention is key. Sleep, food, and stress maintenance. You also want to make sure that you are keeping yourself from getting sick in different ways. You can do cold exposure, which actually helps boost the immune system. I am too squeamish of temperatures, so I don't do that. I really should, but I know lots of people who go outside barefoot in the snow and like do dives in the ocean in the winter. Like it's actually really good for you.
I
Um,
have heard many times,
yeah,
and I'm also, I might be Russian, but I do not like the cold very much. So wintertime, I'm more of the inside. Outside during winter, I don't go very often, but I do want to try and see if I can survive. And I know I will survive standing in the snow with bare feet and how long I can stand there for. Because apparently people say initially it feels really cold, but afterwards you don't really feel the cold much.
I don't know. I've done it and I still feel it, but I would love to do a cold, like a cold bath or a cold dip with the ice, like the ice baths. I know people who go into the ocean and that seems to be, or like a lake, like those seem to be like a thing, and they only go in like for a minute at a time.
Yeah,
But
there's
it,
also a cryotherapy. Have you
yeah,
heard of
it's
that one?
kind of, yeah, it's the same idea.
I'm gonna pay for it, really, for the cold water, for the
Yeah, you just go swimming real quick. But I hear wonderful things about it. So, and actually, if you do a sauna, you're supposed to take a cold dip afterwards because the sauna opens your pores and releases all the toxins. And then when you do a cold dip, it tightens all the pores and tightens your lymph. So
yeah.
it's actually like I think it's a good idea to mix those two together.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I've also heard and seen how boxers, right, because they get beat up in the fight, how they would go into cold ice cold baths and spend a couple of minutes in there because it helps to kickstart the system and heal. It's almost like because we're not meant to live in the cold, and it it increases our I want to say metabolism by us exposing ourselves to it.
yeah.
That's why a lot of Russians they would do that hot sauna and then right into the lake or into a body of water or into an ice bath or somewhere that's really cold.
You just reminded me because I thought of Russians and then I immediately thought of how they drink vodka all the time. And they do that where after they do the cold bath, they go and they take a shot of vodka. So that reminds
It's a reward
that
for
reminds me
torture.
of immunosuppressants. So immunosuppressants would be alcohol, caffeine, nicotine, sugar is an immunosuppressant. So
That's a
you
big
want
one.
to try and monitor those as much as possible and not use them as much because they will lower your immune system. And it's by overloading your body and actually messing with your nervous system again. They like once again with the cold sores and stuff, people will have flare-ups by eating stuff that contains these immunosuppressants. So you see like how it's all kind of connected. um all the body systems are connected. There's no way that you can even get around saying that they're like none of them are separate, which is why another reason why Western medicine is so messed up is because it sees them all separately and they have no connection to each other, which is nuts.
Mhm.
Because it's undoubtedly they are all interlocked. But so yeah, so you would want to do that. You would want to make sure that you are not in taking too many immunosuppressants. You also want to make sure that you're not ignoring if you have an immunocompromised like kind of situation like an autoimmune disease. If you don't address those things, they can cause a lot of complications later on. So if you're feeling icky in a certain regard, like for me, I was getting really sick and I was using the bathroom very frequently, and I saw all these like crampy issues, and I was feeling like once again I was feeling sickly a lot, and then I found out I had celiac disease. So if I hadn't addressed that, I would have continued to erode my immune system in my body. So you want to make sure that you're addressing symptoms that are happening to figure out what the root cause of them is. Once again, something that Western medicine says too. But if you see a naturopath, they can help you out in that regard. They are a mix of both worlds, the natural healing and the diagnostics of the Western medicine system.
Mhm.
But you definitely want to try to figure that stuff out. Like Lyme, if it goes unaddressed, it can become even more of a harmful situation. I know people who ignored it and then they ended up having to get medicine directly put into their spine. It's like, it's really like you want to pay attention and be in tune with your body and not ignore the signs that your body's trying to give you. Even things like endometriosis for women and PCOS, that kind of stuff, you want to address it because it could cause issues with your immune system later on. So those are things. So even if you do all these preventative things and you still get sick, oh, another preventative, my absolute favorite preventative herb is astragalus and elderberry syrup. I have a bottle of mine right here, and this is my actually there's a lot of herbs that are preventative too that I'll actually mention right now because I just remembered. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but so astragalus is really great. It's a Chinese herb that you could take daily, and if you live in an area that has ticks, it's actually great to repel the ticks. Like they may latch on, they can't like really bite you. You won't see a lot of them on you. You just become like gross to them, which is great. And then on top of it, you also get this immune boosting action. You could take it every day and not really worry that something's going to happen. Like with echinacea, which I'll mention later, if you take that too often, it can actually cause like chronic fatigue. Like you can start to like really feel that in your body, and it may not be reversible if you used it too often. Some herbalists are finding. So I don't like that echinacea is put into a bunch of stuff without people using it properly. So astragalus is really great. Reishi. You want, like, I see so many people using chaga a lot, and I really want to stress that chaga is not a sustainable fungi to use. Like it takes like 20 something years or something like that, like some crazy amount of years for a chaga to form. So that should only be used in a situation where you have something really detrimental like cancer, or you need as much immune boosting as possible, and you don't want to use your best player in the game immediately when you may need him later. You know what I mean? Like, so chaga would be like kind of one of those things you use if you really need something to like give you some pow. So I always recommend reishi because it's much more sustainable and it grows back faster. And you can actually grow them yourself. If you get a log, you could get some plugs with the mycelium already on them, and you can grow some in your backyard in like a wet, dark place. It's really, really great. Fun to grow mushrooms. It's and it's pretty. Reishi are really pretty. So definitely recommend reishi. It's an immune booster. I put burdock in my elderberry syrup because it's a great thing for your liver. Your liver is very important in immune function as well because it filters out a lot of the crap that's floating around in your body. So you always want to boost your liver. And I have a video on my Instagram that talks about the digestive system, but I kind of go into different liver boosting herbs like dandelion. Schisandra, I think, actually is also a liver booster. There's turmeric. There's milk thistle, which is really great. But once again, you want to find something that balances out your body temperature. So if you run hot, again, like milk thistle will probably be better for you, along with like dandelion. And burdock is a neutral. It's cooling, but I feel like it's a neutral. So you can take it any time that you want. But turmeric is very heating. So I wouldn't take that if you're already running hot like me. If I take turmeric, I start getting like a rash on my face because I'm running too hot. So you want to balance your body out. But yeah, so elderberry is really great because it has a high zinc content, and it just is known universally in the herb world as a great immune booster. And you want to take it as a preventative in cold and flu season. It won't do much when you get sick. like when you get sick, there are other herbs you should be taking. You can keep taking it just to like help you, but it really does a better job taking it preventatively. I just elbowed my dog in the head by accident. So yeah, so elderberry, astragalus, liver function herbs, and what was the other one? Reishi. Mushrooms are great. Cordyceps are also great. But yeah, we have to think about sustainability when we're taking these herbs. So now, if you get sick, what do you do now? Well, like you have to ride it out. Like basically, you should have taken care of yourself. is how I feel about it. But in the case that you're feeling sick, immediately, when you start to feel sick, start taking echinacea. It is for when you feel the tingle or like the beginnings of sickness. You want to start taking that Echinacea tincture. If you have, and you want to do it for like a week at most. You don't want to take it for too long. You just want to do it for a week, and you don't have to worry about taking it a little bit longer. But you don't want to do it for a long period of time because, like what I said, it could cause chronic fatigue later. Calendula tincture is really good when you have a sore throat kind of coming on, a tickle in your throat. If you squirt the tincture directly into your throat, it can actually kill the bacteria in your throat that's causing that sore throat, and it won't develop into something worse, like, strep or something like that. It really is so helpful. When I am sick, I usually make a bone broth. I make a very strong, potent bone broth. I put burdock in there. I put calendula, the flowers. I put tons of garlic. I put onion and all sorts of, just oregano and thyme. And people think that those are just kitchen herbs, but they have powerful, powerful immune boosting action. Rosemary is really great too. So you just throw all that in there and let it steep for a really long time, and it'll be flavorful and delicious. And you want to get all those fats and all those minerals from the bones in there too, and those will help you heal. What else was I gonna say? Thyme is really
what kind of bones? Beef
kind of
bones, chicken bones.
You can do any kind of bones. Some people like fish. Some people like chicken. Some people like beef. I like chicken. I like to put a whole chicken in there because the collagen, you can still get them from beef bones if you get the knuckles and stuff in there, but it's hard to find those a lot. So I usually do a whole chicken, and you want the collagen to be in there. I know it sounds gross, but that is so good for you. And you want the minerals from the bones to get extracted. So I prefer chicken, and I get a good chicken from the farm because the stuff at the grocery store is just kind of nasty. So I don't know. That's what if you can do that, do it. Say it's a special occasion and go get something from a farm. Yeah, so the healing bone broth is really great. If you have a fever, you really want to let your fever break, because it's your body is trying to do its job and kill off whatever is there. I mean, if it gets too high to a dangerous level, of course, you want to take something that will lower your temperature or allow it to break. Bone set is really great for fevers, high fevers, which is a tincture you can find and you should have on hand. And I just think people get too scared with fevers that they try to cut it off before it's able to do its job, and you don't want to do that. You want to be able to kill whatever's in the body, and then once you feel the sweat break, it's over and you're going to have your temperature lower. What else is there? There's some, sorry, I lost my notes that I had. So I'm just going off ahead. Let's see. I really like hyssop for cough syrup. It's really great, along with what is the name of that? Oh God. Dang it. Bee balm. There we go. I was like, I grew it in my garden this year. Bee balm is really great. If you can find like a cough syrup that's natural that has those things. I actually make one now as an elixir with a little bit of brandy in it. It kind of helps. And actually, what's funny is like alcohol is immunosuppressive, but if you go outside and you're really cold to the point where you feel it in your bones, you know, as a preventative, if you take some brandy and you mix like ginger and turmeric and cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon, I think is, I'm probably mispronouncing a lot of stuff because I read a lot and people don't talk to me, so I don't know how to pronounce it. But cinnamon in there, all the warming herbs, and you take a little bit in like a cup of hot water when you come in. It won't lower your immune system too bad, and it actually will bring warmth into your body to like kind of disperse that cold. Try to think if there's anything else. But yeah, you should just ride it out when you get sick. You should just, and taking care of yourself and allowing yourself to rest is so incredibly important. And too many people try to go to work. I mean, now you can't because people think that you had the you know what, but before people would force themselves to go to work, and it's like you really shouldn't do that because your body is craving rest so much. Rest, fluids, trying to eat something that's nourishing, not some crap. Toast is great and everything, but it doesn't have anything in it. If you put some honey, maybe, because honey has so much good stuff in it, but like, I mean, I'd rather you have the bone broth and something else that's more nourishing, like even some meat or something. Like, I don't know. But I definitely recommend when you're sick, echinacea, bone broth. And
I feel like a lot of people are, when they're eating a lot of junk or fast food because they're not able to make food from scratch, those are the people that might find themselves feeling really weak and tired and exhausted. And I would call that malnourishment.
Yes. Yeah. You're eating cardboard with sugar and crap in it. Oh, there's something else that I need to mention. So with echinacea, you'll see that it has golden seal a lot of the time. Don't get that. Just get echinacea by itself. Golden seal you only want to take when a cold moves into the lungs, and you want to get it out. And that's if you've tried thyme. You can do steam with thyme to really open up the lungs and kind of expel stuff. But golden seal is much more of like a last resort. It's also an endangered, like we're trying to keep it from getting over harvested. So golden seal, you want to watch out. You only want to use it when you absolutely need it, and that's when you feel that you have an infection in the lungs. And then you take it, and it should help like kill whatever you have in there. Oh, and what is the other thing? It was just like, garlic is also your best friend. Garlic capsules. So like I never recommend taking capsules of anything, but garlic capsule is a high potency garlic. You want to take it like once, like every hour, until you, and excuse my words for this, but when you start shitting yourself, like when you have to go to the bathroom like a lot, then you kind of pull back and you don't take it for a little bit, but then you have to start up again. So you don't actually poop yourself, but you know what I mean? Like when you have to run to the bathroom and but garlic is your best friend, like bestest best friend. Like I love garlic. Garlic is the just woo, like raise the roof garlic. But like you want to take it once every hour. You want to keep popping those capsules, and they will help make sure that nothing crazy happens to your body. But it's like I highly recommend. Highly. Okay, there. I think I'm done with that now.
Awesome. I love garlic, and when you started talking about garlic, I instantly remembered eating borscht. It's a Russian beet soup.
Yeah.
And I would have a toast of bread. Sometimes it would be the dark brown one. I think it's called rye, dark rye, and then light rye. And what I would do is I would basically because when it's toasted, it's dry. I would scratch garlic all across it, and there's nothing left of the garlic because it's all inside the bread, and I would just eat it like that, and also like bite a little garlic and soup.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
take
winter
like
time.
you could take a whole clove whole and swallow it. Like I used to do that when I would get sick before I got the capsules. I'd like
What about the heartburn?
I never had an issue with heartburn. And it's funny because garlic is used to treat ulcers and that kind of stuff. So it's like weird what we say causes heartburn and what doesn't. 'Cause
Well,
I
I
know
never got heartburn, but I like that's popped into my mind. I would imagine that's one of the questions somebody would ask. What about heartburn? Because that's the first thing that comes
it's
to mind when you're
peppers.
eating an onion.
Yeah, no, that's peppers and tomatoes and stuff. I don't think that garlic really causes heartburn. Test it out. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, garlic is awesome. It's like honestly awesome. Also, if you wanted a book recommendation, Body into Balance is a really great book. And it really talks about all the systems. And listen, man, don't growl at me.
Don't tell him the book. He doesn't want to know.
Yeah. So this is like it has every system. It gives you some basic herbs to use, and some guidance on how to make some stuff for yourself. It's like a really good beginner's basic kind of directory book. And it has beautiful photos, beautiful instructions. Very, very helpful. So if you wanted something on hand that would help you. Another great book is Nourishing Traditions, which I have. Hold on, let me go grab that. And then I gotta go. But book, I just get really into talking about it, so I get excited. But Nourishing Traditions is very thick, but it has like lots of stuff on diet, lots of things like recipes that are filled with nourishing foods. This is also another one in the series. It's called Nourishing Fats. Why we need animal fats for health and happiness. A really great book. Also has some recipes and things that you can use to really bring the nourishment into your food. But I love this. And she has another book that's on child rearing, and it has like different medicinal recipes for like cough syrups and stuff for your kid when they're sick and what to do. So it's really great if you're trying to raise your kid naturally and you like don't know what you should be doing when they get sick or when they're like, their stomach hurts or any of that kind of jazz. So those
I
are
like those. Those are all really thick books.
yeah, very, very big books. This one is awesome though. I can't believe I found it. I was really excited. I always check eBay and I got it for $7, which is amazing, but it's really love cookbooks. I love cookbooks, so I collect all sorts of them. But those are a couple of my favorites for sure.
Nice.
Education.
And if we're gonna cook something at home, I think it will be a lot healthier and better and safer knowing what we're putting in our food.
Yes.
Like just imagine, like I wonder how many people have actually spent time and Googling the benefits of parsley, dill, garlic, everything that we have in the kitchen.
That's the thing though, is that people, when they think of herbs, they think either of like that kind of herb, or they think of some herb that's found in the butt crack of two mountains in a faraway place in the Himalayas. You know what I mean? Like it does, like the most nourishing herbs are the ones that you hear every single day. Like parsley is actually a great heavy metal detoxifier. So it's just like things like that. Like rosemary is actually really great to smell and eat after you've been in like a traumatic situation or like a car accident. Like it's just like they have such great, like thyme is really great for once again the lungs and feeling better when you're sick. It's just oregano is great for the digestive system, really, really good for that. And it kills off bad bacteria. So like it can it's almost like it can tell the difference. It's not like an antibiotic where it kills off all the bacteria in your body. It can actually soothe the gut. It's just like there's so many things that we overlook every day that it's just it's super
Yeah.
good.
Well, because that's the information that we need to search for and look for, and not very many people believe they actually have time to do that,
Mhm.
right?
No, that's
But
the thing I hear all the time is, oh, I don't have time to cook. It's like, you have time, make the time. Like, you don't have time to be healthy. What is that? Like, what is that, like, no, get out of here. Stop with that. I yell at my mama all the time because she says that to me like, I'm just like, shh, stop. Like, you do.
yeah, you know what, everyone always finds the time when shit hits the fan.
Yeah, but you want to prevent that. That's the whole point of the immune system talk, is that it's mostly prevention.
You know what, I feel like it's one of those things that we live with it, knowing, like, we all live knowing that we're going to leave the same way,
Yeah.
that we get out of life the same way. And not everyone is consciously and fully aware of that fact until it happens. It's almost like, I'll think about it when I get close to it. Right now, I don't need to worry about it. So the same thing with our health. A lot of people feel like, I don't need to. I'll worry about when I'm in my 40s, 50s, when, when I need to.
Well, that's why I don't even know if I'm allowed to say the big P word, the pharmaceuticals, the pills. That's why they're so popular, is because they're marketed as you just take it and you're fine. But the thing is that you're just masking the issue. You're not actually taking care of it at the root cause, so it's never actually going to go away. You're now dependent on this, like, synthesized, chemically dissolved, like icky thing. Like, if you saw how they make these things, you'd be like, what is nail polish remover doing in this equation? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they use that to, like, kind of do washes, acetone, and all these horrible, horrific, fume inducing, like that has no place in your body. But here they are, like, saying, hey, we have a one size fits all alternative to taking care of yourself. So if you don't want to do that, here's this pill, and you just take it and you're fine. And it's like, no, you're not. And there's a reason why when they have those commercials, it takes half the commercial for them to, like, list the side effects of it. Like, it's like, oh, your toe fungus will go away, but you may have a heart attack or die or, shit the bed spontaneously sometimes, and maybe get Alzheimer's and dementia and Parkinson's, but you'll have no toe fungus. Like, so I really think that people need to invest in themselves, and that means time. To like, I don't have time in the morning. I eat my dinner breakfast thing in the morning, and I prep all of my cuttings and all the ingredients at night when I have time, and then in the morning I'm ready to go. I have all my ingredients set, and I just boop, 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 and I make my food, and it's all done within a half hour. So I really excuses.
But see, that right there is a perfect example of our options, of what choices we have, what we can do to find the time to have fresh breakfast, fresh lunch, and fresh dinner.
Yeah. Meal prep is such a cool thing. I love people who meal prep. I think it's really cute when they have all their containers, and they find a day that they have time, and they make sure that they have these healthy meals. There's a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. And I don't take the I don't have time. Nope, doesn't work with me. I'm like, okay, cool. So you just want to be sick. that's how I feel about it. I'm like, you just want to be sick. So
it is a choice, and a lot of people don't realize that we all choose to continue to feel sick. We all choose to pop a pill, Advil, for example. That's the go-to for everything for a lot of people. and also don't realize that Advil itself actually takes empathy out of us.
So ibuprofen is also addictive. Did you know that? When I was younger, I would take it for migraines, and I had built up a withdrawal, and my withdrawal was a migraine. So my body would give me that so that I'd take more of it, and it ate my stomach lining. I almost swore, but it ate my stomach lining, and then I had to build up my digestive system again. And then I just found out that Tylenol has aborted fetal cells in it. Did you know that? Tylenol. Why does it have to be in there? I don't know. So like, it's just like, I'd much rather take a day off and nurse my migraine than take any of that stuff at this point. Like,
you know what it sounds like? It sounds like an attack on the soul.
yes.
Because a soul would not want to consume another part of a dead human, another soul like that.
Yeah. So
And
I think it is an attack on empathy and caring for one another. And to think, and you know what's funny is that I hear a lot of people be like, oh, well, I don't want to take herbs because they're dangerous. Look up how many people die of a Tylenol overdose a year. I think it's like probably the highest amount of people die from a Tylenol overdose because
I've never heard of that either.
Too many. Go and look it up, because it is astounding how many people die of Tylenol overdoses. And it's like, I think it's like if you take more than 3 pills a day or something, you could, like, those high amount over the counter, like you can just get it at a drugstore, Tylenols, those, go look at how many people die from that. Elon Musk was actually talking about it one time. He was like, yeah, the amount of people who die from Tylenol is really up there. So, I mean, I'd much rather have herbs any day. It's safer than anything you'll ever,
I haven't heard of anyone dying of herbal overdose.
I don't know anybody.
It's natural, and there's nothing synthetic in there. There's no nail polish remover in there. There's no paint thinners in there. There's no God knows what else in there.
And there's natural, and what they don't tell you is there's natural buffers. So if you get a full spectrum tincture, which means that the whole plant was used or a large part of the plant, there's natural buffers built into the plant to balance it in your body. I mean, it's just like, what else do you need?
Well, I also like a really great example is look at nature.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the dog that you have in the house. Or right when you go take a dog for a walk, at least mine does, when she's not feeling well, she will find certain grass and she'll eat that certain grass, and it helps her tummy, and she'll eat enough as much as she needs to, and she stops. And then I'll also use the dog as an example for this diet fads that we're all being bombarded with from every direction. In order for you to look like this, you need to fill your body with this protein, with that powder, with this pill, with all of these, and this is how you lose the weight and you look great. But does a dog do any of that? When a dog is overweight, what do we do with the dog? You
have to eat less.
Small portions.
Yeah.
We give them more food. We take them outside more often for exercise. And yet, when it comes to ourselves, we don't do those common sense things that we do with everything else that we have. How are we different from dogs? We're not much different, aside from we have higher consciousness as far as we know, but for all we know, dogs can have even higher consciousness, and therefore they're like, I know not to speak.
They see things we don't, that's for sure. They're like,
there you go.
So
anyways, I know you gotta go, and I want to say thank you so much for showing me your dogs, because I feel like there's a new one in there because it was beautiful.
This is Hanuman. He's new.
He's so cute.
He's very tiny.
How old is he?
He's 2 years old.
You rescued him, I imagine, because otherwise.
All of our doggies are rescued, but this guy was 2. He was like given back by the guy who bought him, and like from our friend he couldn't take him back, but
Aw, he's so cute.
Anymore, which is insane because look at this face. Look at this face.
Yeah. And he's very calm too for a Chihuahua. Maybe because I'm not there, but
I can mess with him too. He's not like skittish.
yeah.
He's just like, he's like, what is
I
happening?
thought it was a sneeze.
But
So cute.
yeah, he's super cute. I get to dress him like a doll. It's fun.
Aw. See? Who needs kids when you have dogs that you can dress up?
Yes, exactly. I have 2 cats and 3 dogs. I'm all set. I don't need any children.
And the training for them takes just a year, if even, whereas for kids, it never ends.
Oh yeah. Well, even when they're like what 20, I raised my sisters and they still drive me nuts and they're in their 20s. So I don't think it ever ends.
Exactly. Maybe it ended for my mom with me. I don't know about my sister because I'm not really involved in their life, but for me, it ended like the moment that I think I had kids and the kids were older. That's when my mom just finally realized that I got this. Right? I don't need much help. Right? That I got this. But there were times where they did help me when our son was born. I was literally losing my mind. I ended up being on meds, being put on meds, postpartum. That did a lot more damage than good. But let's just
Yeah.
leave it there. That could be the
I
next.
really feel like postpartum is one of those things that's very common that they just don't talk about. And it could really be remedied by liver boosting herbs to filter out all the hormones that are like freaking out in your body, and also just
Sleep
being with people.
and
Being
sleep. Lots of sleep.
So it's about having community and liver. Your liver and community. Those are 2 really great things with postpartum.
That's actually very true. Community is, if you don't do any other 2 things, community is the, if you only could pick one, community would be the one. Because having other people there to just even support you, and just even if they could support you, just to spend time with you, that eases a lot of craziness that happens in the silence of the dead night.
Yeah.
Right? And the kids.
Also, it's like you have so many emotions running. I really think that most of it is hormone withdrawal, though, because pregnancy or even abortion, like you go from having all these hormones pumping into your body that are helping you to create a human, and then rapidly something happens where they need to cease. Yeah. So your body was used to all this stuff. It's why we have PMS too. Like your body was used to getting this like high flush of hormones, and then all of a sudden it gets like taken, it's just shut off, and your mind and body just kind of goes crazy. So liver boosting herbs. That's the I'm all about the liver. It's like, honestly, like I can't express it enough. But I gotta go because I gotta go to the post office and send out order.
Go enjoy the post office. Enjoy your puppies. They're so cute. I want to see outfits.
Yes, I post pictures of him in his little hoodies. It's very cute.
Oh, it's so cute. I gotta check it out then. Okay. Once again, thank you again for all your information and all your knowledge. And I know this was not even with notes. So can you guys imagine what Shell would be like with notes? Oh,
I'm probably good I didn't, because then I would have been talking for 2 hours.
well, a good thing that you had to go, right? To limit yourself. But yeah, a lot of information. I probably will be listening back and asking you some questions because I've raised some questions for myself as well. Yeah, until I guess next time, if you're down to do next week.
Yes, I don't think I have anything next week.
16th, yeah.
I think I'll be okay to do it. Yeah.
So next week we can
ask me. I don't know, and I'll come up with something. Maybe we'll do the liver. Should we do liver? Did we do liver yet?
No, let's do that because that is I think it's one of the most important organs.
Yes, I agree.
That is very often.
Obviously.
Right?
I do.
Because when we put a lot of pharmaceuticals in there.
Mhm.
Again, try not to say these words that could, potentially flag the videos. But here you go.
Trying not to. No, I whispered it. I don't think they got
I
it.
know. I said it. I didn't whisper it. But all of that you put into your body goes to the liver. And even though it does regenerate itself, it can also be damaged beyond repair.
We'll talk about that next week.
There we go. We'll leave that one. I know there's still repair, but all you need is a sliver.
Yep. Well,
Next
don't
week.
keep going. We gotta go.
Next week.
Next week.
Okay. Thanks and bye. Bye, everybody. Until next
Bye.
time. Bye.